diabetics replaced insulin shots. I used to have to give myself a shot every time I ate and at the end of the day to give myself insulin that would last me throughout the day. Now I just give insulin through clicking buttons, and that is incredibly convenient because now I work in conjunction with the pump to manage my diabetes instead of doing it all on my own, which eliminates a lot of room for error and a lot of the manual calculation and manual shots and work that I had to do. And that has kind of turned me into Clive Thompson's version of the Centaur.
So let's say I want a bolus for something. First I would turn on my pump, which gives me the time and how many insulin units I have left in my pump. Then I go to menu and bolus. Bolus is to give a dose of insulin for a certain amount of carbs. So let's say I'm having M&Ms, which are about 26 carbs. I input how many I'm having. Then I add my blood sugar. My last blood sugar was 135. So I show result. Up here, it tells me how much insulin I need for my carbs, how much insulin I need to correct my blood sugar, which is nothing because my blood sugar is in range, and how much insulin I have on board, meaning how much insulin is still working in my body from the last time that I've bolused. The total, it tells me, is 2.6 units. So I scroll up to 2.6. And press go. Now I have my insulin and I'm ready to eat candy.
What a lot of people don't understand is how my pump gives me the insulin. So this tube right here is connected to a site, which is basically a little tube that stays inside me for 3 to 4 days, and I have to change my site and move it around so the site doesn't get infected. The insulin is right in here. So if I unscrew this and pull it out, you can see my cartridge. 200 units go in here at a time, and then when it gets down every couple days, I change it.
Another useful feature of my pump is its memory. So if I go into history, I can find how and what I have bolused for. So like just now, I gave 2.6 units. It gives me the record of that, and it gives me the record of all of the times that I have given insulin today, going back for months. It also gives me my total daily dose, which is how much I take each day, alarms that I may have set, every time that I've primed and suspended my pump, which means to go on without insulin for a little while, and basal, which is the insulin that I receive consistently throughout the day. Having all this information allows me to input into the computer and therefore to make charts and graph out kind of how I've been managing my diabetes to help manage it in the future.
This is my meter, which I use to test my blood sugar. So what I do is I take out a test strip and I put it in the meter, and then I have my poker here, which I do. And I won't show it, but there is a little bit of blood. And I put it on the test strip, and in 5 seconds it gives me a result, which is really fast. So my blood sugar is a little bit high, but it shows up on this screen. And so from here, my meter is actually kind of a special meter that connects to my pump, so I can tell it how much insulin to give on here, and without even having to pull out my pump, it'll give the insulin. It's a remote. So that has really, really been convenient, especially when situations where I can't take out my pump and be fumbling around with it, to just be able to do it all from my meter. The goal is to develop a cure for diabetes, but in the meantime, a lot of technology has been developed to help, such as the artificial pancreas, which is something that would take care of all aspects of diabetes, checking blood sugar and giving insulin and correcting high and low blood sugars. Technology currently available is a continuous glucose monitor, which would be another site that I would have to wear, and it would be a little machine that calculates the trends of my blood sugar, so whether at a certain point of the day I'm going up or going down or staying steady, and from there I am able to adjust how much insulin I'm giving myself to make sure that my blood sugars stay steady. So that's another thing that diabetics use that's really helpful. Diabetes wasn't really established until the 1950s, and even then it was incredibly primitive. So what we have now is amazing, considering how short ago it was that there was relatively no knowledge, and now we have a lot of technology that really helps make diabetes much easier to manage. Diabetes is an incredibly complex disease that takes a lot of monitoring and care, but with the use of technology like my insulin pump and my meter, it makes it much easier to handle and manage and make sure that I'm healthy and will be healthy in my future.